Prototyping has become a lot easier with nice little tools like Marvel, say. Marvel is one of the things where you can glue your screens together. So this means you create your screens first, you make little drawings. That's what we call wireframes. They should be sufficiently detailed, like what you can see here, but not that you use so much time for it that you can't sort of redo them. And then when you put them into Marvel, what you do there is you make little active areas you can click on, and that means that you will create a functional prototype in the sense that you will move from one screen to the other. So for example, something like this, or there's a little cappuccino app here where you can order cappuccinos. And then what would the next step be? Well, you would have to go in and set some preferences, what you want in terms of sugar or strength of the coffee or whatever. And then a final thing here is that you check out your coffee, you figure out when are you going to pick it up, and you can see all these things can be illustrated without doing any coding. However, what is really important is that you think of what is the real problem you want to actually solve. And maybe the problem is that normally you would stand in a queue. So what you do here in the app is that you avoid that. And then it's the timing thing, which is essential. But it could also be at the other end of the canvas, the segment. Maybe what your app provides is a bigger choice of, let's say, Kenyan light roasted coffee or something like this. And then you would have to figure out, okay, do I need to build a prototype at all for this? You could actually sit down with this canvas. If you fill out the problem and you identify the market segment over here on the other side, sit down with them and figure out, would you want an app like this? Then the app itself would be what corresponds to the little blue square here. That's a solution, right? You can make something like this and you can do it without coding. You can simply create a mock-up. However, the main problem I would see here is in the middle. That is the value. What is the unique value that this app actually provides? Because there should be a pain. There should be sort of a user need, like I cannot live without this app. It really does something for me which is absolutely essential. And then we are more into what we would call design thinking. What is it that people actually want? And that's why you should check out this really nice article here from Harvard Business Review. These are consultants from Bain who've been sitting down looking at a number of companies and say, how do they create value? And it's a little like sort of the Maslow or pyramid of needs. They then come up with, when you analyze a lot of successful companies, you can see that they have different elements of value. Some of them are very functional. Some of them are a little like what we just touched upon. If you want your coffee really quickly, or it's absolutely essential that the quality is there, but it could also be that there are other aspects like could you create more sort of a belonging to a brand, or if we are talking healthcare apps, maybe you would even be at the top of the pyramid here. You would do something which is life-changing, where you give people a possibility to live a normal life based on your app. So successful companies have a combination of these. They don't have all of them, but they carefully select which ones are the ones which in a combination will provide us with what we need. What is nice is that this is also a prototyping tool, because you can then say, if you have a not so successful company, how could you go in and optimize any of these parameters? And that means that you would end up with not just one, but you go in and do this repeatedly. You go in and say, let's replace this one here with that. And you will have different elements, and you can then try out several prototypes where you say, if we stress this point, then it will look like this. If we emphasize this instead, this is what it is. So this is what goes into the value part here. It's not necessarily one thing you can figure out immediately. What is the unique value? It's probably more like something where you say it could be this, could be that. And then you made out little sketches, you put them into Marvel, so you will end up with something which is like a functional prototype. And this means you can sit down with people, you can show them your app on the phone,